Hi, thanks for coming to my channel. I'm your Everyday Joe. Today's recipe is going to be a simple one. Today we're going to be roasting some cauliflower in a power air fry oven, so stay tuned. We appreciate you watching this video. If you want to show support to this channel, be sure to click the subscribe button. And to stay up to date on new content, when we release it, ring the notification bell. You can also visit us on our website or look for us on social networks. Now let's get into the video. We have a head of cauliflower here that we're going to break up into smaller bits. Parsley, salt, pepper, some mozzarella cheese, some chopped green onions, some cayenne pepper for a little bit of a kick, rosemary, and some thyme. We're also going to throw some of this ranch seasoning dressing on it and a little bit of olive oil. Here's the cauliflower. I've already cleaned off most of the greens off it. We're going to take off this stem, this stem in the center here. Just going to take a little paring knife and just go in and just start cutting around, and you'll see that it'll pop right off. Okay, so the core comes right off. Right there. Now you can save that to make some vegetable soup. Okay, and normally what I do is I want bigger pieces. I don't want to just shave it off. I want to have the stems, the actual spears. So I go in from the inside just like you would on broccoli, a head of broccoli, and just start cutting away at the spears. So you have chunks like this. You can make them a little smaller. Put them in my little tray here. Okay, and just start cutting and break it right off, and you'll find doing it this way here makes less of a mess. Okay, the pieces come off nice and big. All right, I'm going to finish cutting this up. I'm going to give them a rinse, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to set it all up in a tray. I've already rinsed these off and patted them dry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the tops, not too much, just to give them a little coating. You don't want to cook them too dry. We want to get a nice crisp on them, and also for the flavor. Okay, and you can see I've got them on paper towels here just so it continues to soak up any water, because I want them kind of dry and crispy. I want to trying to get a crust on them. So we're going to add a little bit of salt to them. Now you can add as much or as little as you want, but because we're adding some cheese to it, I want to keep it a little bit lighter on the salt. And some pepper, not too much, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Okay, now I'm going to be using this ranch powder, this ranch dressing powder, which you can use just about any vegetables. This stuff works great on. So just kind of sprinkle some on, and there's basically salt and pepper already in there. There's a little bit of onion, garlic powder in there, so you don't have to add any of that. Okay, so let's just give them a little quick toss here, just to make sure we get it all incorporated. Okay, a little bit of dry parsley. Again, you can use any kind of seasonings you like on it. I'm going to be adding some cayenne pepper just to give it a little bit of a kick. I like them a little spicy. Okay, so now what I did is any of the larger pieces, I just took them and split them just so they'll be easier to eat afterwards. They won't be so large. They're just about that size there. You want them easy enough to handle later. Okay, so we're going to take that, put them all in my tray here. Now what I try to do is I try to make sure that the florets are on the top and the stems are on the bottom. It just they'll toast up a little bit nicer that way. Okay. And it's all right. I mean, stacking them up a little bit, and it's just vegetable again. You don't have to worry too much. The bottom ones will steam a little bit more than the tops, but we'll get a nice crust on the top. All right, so just gonna take that out. Gonna add some of the green onions here inside. All right, now we get some thyme sprigs. You can break them up a little bit if you want. I'm just gonna stuff them in here. Just a lot of the leaves will come off anyway. Okay, stuff them in there. And some rosemary. Okay, put that in. Okay, just kind of get rid of some of these big stems. I just don't want to pull them out afterwards, so make it a little easier now. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit more of the ranch on the top. Okay, a little shake. Make sure all the florets are sticking up. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more olive oil to the top just to give it a little bit more moisture in there. I'm going to put them into the power air fry oven, about 350 for about 10 minutes, just so they start browning the top. But I'm not putting them on a rack. I'm actually going to put it right at the bottom where the catch tray is, right there, so it doesn't overcook them. It gives them a little bit more time, and the heat is not directly on it, where it might burn them before they start cooking. So I'm going to put those in there for about 10 minutes. We're going to pull them out, see what they look like, add the cheese and the remaining seasonings right to the top, put them back in to get a nice crust on them. So I'll show you what they look like when they come out. All right, now these just came out at 350 for 10 minutes. Now they're about 75–80% there already. They still got a little bit of crunch to them. So while they're still warm, I'm gonna add the remaining ingredients. What I decided to do is I decided to add a little bit of panko to the tops just for additional crunch. And I added a little bit of grated Parmesan and Romano mix to it just for flavoring. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of this garlic butter just inside here, just to give it a little bit more moisture and some garlic flavor. And it'll melt nicely in there because it's still pretty warm. All right, it's only about a tablespoon, and it's not all that much. Okay, next I'm going to take the shredded mozzarella cheese and just coat the tops. Get it all in there. All right. And some of this green onion here. Put some of that on the top. And some of this panko. Panko and grated cheese mix. Again, it's got some flavoring. It's going to add a little bit more crunch to it. All right. So it's in there. Give it a little shake. Get the cheese going. Well, now I want to put it back in the power air fry oven for 350 degrees for about 5 minutes, just until the cheese starts melting and I get the nice crust on top. So I'll show what it looks like when it comes out. Okay, now that the cauliflowers come out, I just added a little bit more panko for the topping at the end and some green onions just for color and a little bit of freshness. And you can see the cheese melted nicely. I mean, you got plenty of cheese on here. You know, and it cooked really nice. You still got a little bit of crunch to it and a lot of flavor. You could smell it in the house, all the garlic and the seasoning that while it was cooking. Yeah, and it's got a really good flavor. Still got a crunch to it. Didn't quite steam, but it is nice and roasted. You can see the top, nice and brown. Cheese is all melted. That ranch dressing powder, if you haven't tried it, you got to try it on vegetables. It's fantastic. It gives it a nice sweetness. It doesn't have the creaminess of the regular dressing, but it does have the flavor of it. It's really something. give that a shot if you haven't tried that yet. If you like this video, give me some thumbs up, comment, share it, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also check out some of my other videos on the side here. And I'll see you in the next video.